All right, so 10 tips for putting out a stronger record. This message is targeted at Metallica. I really sincerely hope that one or more of the band members or production team watch this. This comes from a place of love, not of hate. As a Bay Area resident most of my life and someone who lived here through the rise of thrash, I truly, deeply love Metallica. I like a lot of things about the new record, 72 Seasons. It just could be stronger. And I would love to see every album from here on out that Metallica puts out to be just absolutely great. All killer, no filler. So here we go 10 suggestions to make a strong record. Number one, keep it short. Single LP length provides quality control in the sense that you have around 44 minutes to really get your message out. Less is more in many, many cases, and I really can't think of that many albums that benefit from exceeding single LP length. So, if you have more to say, save it for the B-sides or save it for the next record. Leaving your fans wanting more is a very, very good thing. So this is just something that you cannot do and automatically put out a stronger record. Just keep it short. If you really, really, really feel super inspired and you want to push beyond that single LP length, maybe go for 3 sides and then put some cool etching and holograms on side 4. I have seen some successful records produced that way. Albums need variety, and this one is no exception. During the movie premiere, there was some talk about how variety was considered, but the band chose to just start with what they thought was an awesome riff and then just create a song from it. And in my opinion, some more variety should have been planned. I know that creativity needs to be spontaneous, and maybe James or other members of the band just didn't have any ballads in their hearts or any instrumentals. But, I gave some advice earlier about how Inamorata could have been an instrumental. And hey, I bet if James sat down and really had a ballad in mind, he could put out something pretty cool. So whether it's a ballad and an instrumental, which has simply worked really well on previous Metallica albums, or some other sort of variety, just variety is the spice of life. And that leads me to another point. Somebody please reintroduce Lars to a ride cymbal. Paring down the drum kit, I kind of get it. Like you're focusing on just power and propulsion or whatever, but there are just some monster classic Metallica cuts that really benefit from ride cymbal. And there are some passages on this record where I think a ride really would have served the song better, particularly like some pre-chorus sections. And then, you're just bringing more of a musical palette to this record. All right, next point. No repetitive, super basic soloing. This record features quite a few solo guitar passages that would have benefited from being dropped or from being greatly reduced in length. Kirk, you are one of the world's greatest guitarists. And I remember from like a making of the Black Album where you were pushed to throw down the solo that you did for Unforgiven, and you needed to be pushed. And that solo is amazing. It's melodic, it's singable, it's memorable, and it's also like very challenging, it's technical, and it's emotive. It's got soul. And there are just too many soloing passages on this record that really don't have any soul, and they don't take the song somewhere different or better or elevate it. And that really is the point of guitar solos. Okay, speaking of variety and playing to your strengths, give Rob Trujillo more room to breathe on these records. Again, during the movie premiere, he made this statement that the bass section in Inamorata is like one of his proudest moments with the band so far. And if that's really true, I find that to be kind of a sad statement. It really isn't that interesting of a passage. Cliff Burton had Anesthesia and Orion, and Jason Newsted had My Friend of Misery. These like exemplary bass moments that are iconic, they're memorable. And Rob, I know you are capable of better. We have not heard the best from you. And so I think your band needs to give you more space where, the track isn't cluttered, we can hear you, and you can just really, really, really deliver for us your Magnus opus. Like, I don't think we've heard the best from you. All right, something that definitely works for me on this record are some of the riffs that were penned by Kirk Hammett and some of the soloing work thrown down by James. So maybe change things up a bit, and maybe the next record could feature more Kirk riffs and more James soloing. Like maybe that's just where the inspiration is right now. So just go with it. Next point, avoid self-plagiarism. On this record, we hear an homage to Eye of the Beholder that like is so close to it that it really takes me out of the moment and frankly makes me simply want to hear Eye of the Beholder. So it's cool, like good art is borrowed and the best art is stolen, and it's nothing new for an artist to really plagiarize themselves. Like Van Morrison did it from one album to the next, talking about Crazy Love and then Tupelo Honey. So, I mean, we're not talking about a criminal act here, but we're just talking about what could make for the best experience for your fans. And so I would steer well clear of anything that really is going to remind people of a former classic song. And really, the Eye of the Beholder riff could have just been dropped here and the album wouldn't suffer. Like you come in with a super strong main riff for that song. So, just start there. All right, we're approaching our final points. Now, I want to congratulate the band for having this album mixed in Atmos. Dolby Atmos is an amazing musical technology. I am a huge fan of music mixed in Atmos. Anybody who's familiar with this channel knows that. We just don't have an interesting Atmos mix here. We simply don't. Now look, Metallica, you're one of the best and the biggest bands in this world. Everything you do should be absolutely forward-leaning, groundbreaking, and just the best of the best. But, there are 3 Megadeth albums mixed in Atmos, and all of those mixes are more interesting and better than what we have here. There is some reverby garbage mixed into the Atmos most of the time, and then sometimes there's a vocal echo or a harmony vocal or a guitar effect echo, and it's just not enough. You could have done some really, really awesome things with this Atmos mix. Could have had ginormous drums. You could have gotten playful with some of these solo passages. Honestly, like go and listen to Rust in Peace in Atmos and then try to better that. You shouldn't be letting Megadeth beat you at anything, right? I mean, that's that healthy competition between the two bands that has really benefited metal so often. So I challenge you, keep mixing your stuff in Atmos. And also, by the way, go back and mix your classic albums in Atmos. But make sure it's an amazing Atmos mix. You guys are one of the best bands in the world, and your mixes should be the best as well. On that point, when you mix an album in Atmos, don't leave it on streaming services. Issue a Blu-ray. You're going to sell more copies of your album, and your fans are going to be able to hear your Atmos mix losslessly. Streamed Atmos is, comparable in quality to an MP3. It's so heavily compressed for size that you're really not delivering the best quality of your record. So issue a Blu-ray. Please issue it on its own or in an affordable package. Don't compel fans to buy super ultra deluxe edition to get it. And you are going to just please many, many of your fans who are into multi-channel and immersive music. And you're going to be putting your best foot forward. You're going to be leading the pack the way that it ought to be done. And that is what Metallica is all about. All right, my final point. You need to involve and listen to critical people in your creative and production process. Listen, I live an hour away from Metallica HQ. When you're ready to commence work on your next album, or you want to get some feedback after you have some work in the can, call me up, drop me a message, guys. I will be there for you. I'll do it for free. I would just love to see the next Metallica record be just perfect. Okay. It seems to me like maybe you all have surrounded yourself with yes men. And the reason I say that is, these points that I'm throwing down here are basic. It's making a good record 101. And either you don't have anyone in your life who is telling you the truth, or you're not listening to them. So involve critical people. And you know what? Drop me a line. And like I said, I'll be there for you guys anytime. Or if not me, just involve someone who is going to tell you when ideas just aren't good enough, if they're not ready and they need more work, if you need to be pushed to excel and really truly do your best to put out the best versions of your record, like such as releasing a Blu-ray. And, really just to be critical, somebody who loves your material at its best and can guide you to really keep putting out your best. 72 Seasons is a very cool record. It would simply be better by following less is more, giving us some variety, and maybe just kind of mixing things up and just really going where inspiration strikes. So again, this message has been delivered with love. I am overjoyed for anyone who loves every second of this record. And, my honest opinion is that I just don't. And I value telling the truth on this channel. So I hope that this message has been, interesting and helpful to the band and to anyone else watching. And on that matter, I appreciate you watching. If you appreciate what I do, don't forget to like my videos, subscribe, ring the notification bell, leave your comments about 72 Seasons, about Atmos, about good records, records with filler, any topic that you feel is relevant, go for it. I appreciate all of the support. I appreciate interacting with all of you. I appreciate you watching. And I appreciate Metallica and metal in general. There's a lot of greatness on this record, and I'm overjoyed simply like anytime that Metallica drops new material. So it's a good day. It's a Metallica day. I wish you all great headbanging and rocking out. And all that said, I'll simply encourage everyone to live life in stereo and surround.